Battle of Britain coming at you over in the World Cup as the Welsh take on the English with, of course, a qualification still on the cards for both nations. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to go home? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks. Bam's game, of course, a 5-minute preview. Looking forward to Wales up against England over in Group B. And we'll get to that in just one second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button back to all things Wales related, England related, World Cup related. We got it all here, boys. Under one roof. Of course, Wales have been shit. England have been a little bit dire as well, of course, over in Qatar 2022. Is it just a blip in the resume, or will England actually step it up to the plate? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons, of course, but anyway, let's get into it and waste no more time. Talk about this one at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium on the 29th of November. It is Wales, it is England. And it is, of course, to qualify for Qatar. It's basically like a knockout game, really. Even though England could still lose, but if Wales were to put a couple of goals past them in the first half, you just don't know. Anyway, Wales do come into this via the playoffs, Path A winners. They secured the date on the 5th of June 2022. Two World Cups in the past. 58 was the last where they made the quarter-finals. By the way, Robert Page, as you imagine, the VIP is still Gareth Bale. 11-10 at the start of the World Cup to qualify. 150-1 to go the distance, of course. Take a look at the resume. They did open up with a draw against the Americans, but of course losing to Iran in the way that they did has put them in this pickle right now, of course, on staring at the brink of knockout. But let's take a look at, of course, the situation in the table as it stands. Of course, Wales are bottom with just 1 point, but a win and a win puts them in an okay position. However, I think a draw between US and Iran will put them out anyway. So, but it's not great. England, of course, will have it all to do and all to lose as well. Let's take a look then, of course, the reminders of their Welsh boys. Tidy, of course, coming at you. Of course, Hennessy will not be involved here with the red card. Of course, Danny Ward will likely come in. Rondon Davies, Nico Williams into midfield. We got the likes of Ruben Colwell, Levitt, who haven't really featured. Silver Thomas could also start. Bale, Dan James, and Kiva Moore up top. But I've gone with these bad boys for this game. Of course, going on with a bit of an attacking lineup here. Ward between six: Davies, Rondon, Meppen, and Roberts. Wilson on the left, James on the right, Ramsey, Allen, Bale, Moore. All the experienced heads, all the big boys coming at England for this one. Now, speaking of the English, coming at you, of course, through this resume, unbeaten now in 3 games. Of course, just 1 win, though, with the last 6 or 7. It's not great, of course, but Group I winners secured the day on the 15th of November 2021. 16 tournaments in the past. 2018 was the last, a streak of 7 in a row. They won it back in 66. Gareth Southgate is the manager. The VIP, though, is Harry Kane. 20-1, of course, to qualify at the start. 11-1, 11-2 to win it. Of course, they'll still be up there. We'll look at that shortly, but of course, they come at you top of the pops, yet to taste defeat. Of course, opened up with that 6-2 win over Iran, following on with that 1-1 draw against USA. And again, a draw will be enough for them to qualify. A loss, depending on how big a loss, could also put them in second spot. A win, though, should secure top spot. And, of course, taking on the runners-up in Group A. Let's take a look, of course, shall we, at the personnel that England have heading into this game. Of course, we might see some changes, depending on what Southgate does. That's the Welsh. Let's get over to the English right there. Of course, coming at you, Pickford between the sticks. Of course, Dyer yet to feature. Cody either. Neither of us. It's actually been pretty much the same team. But of course, Saka with a couple of goals. Jude Bellingham has been starting. I do think it'll be maybe 1 or 2 changes for this team. And speaking of that, let's of course take a little look at what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. That's right. Of course, my team: Pickford between sticks, Shaw, Maguire, Stones, Trippier. Those back line would have been fine. Of course, in the last game against USA, who did give them some trouble. Bellingham and Rice. Of course, I think they will continue. Saka, Foden coming in, Sterling, and then Kane. Of course, I'm not big a fan of Foden, but I think Mason Mount has been a little bit dire, of course, heading into this game. Anyway, they've played each other 8 times since 1966. Wales have got nothing. 8 wins for England, 0 draws. Wales, though, without a win in the last 7. England just 1 win in the last 6 or 7 there. Of course, 42% form for them heading into their biggest win over Wales was a 5-1 win. They scored 19 goals compared to Wales' just 2 over the course of those 8 matches. But somewhere about 2.38 goals a game, 0.25 goals a game for Wales. The last time they played was a 3-0. Wales was a friendly back in October 2020. There's nothing there for Wales to get excited about, unfortunately. A bit of vote out there. 80% have gone in favour of England, 30% have gone in favour of Wales, and 7% have gone with the draw. But of course, the odds for the game itself, when you look at the bookies odds, if it comes at you right about now, we've got England, of course, actually Wales 50-2, if they're actually 5-2 on, is your England, 7-2 is your away win. Of course, the odds to qualify here, we've got England 1,000-1 to qualify, 6-1 on to win the group. Of course, Wales 16-1 to qualify, 1,001 to win the group. But of course, to lift the trophy itself, Wales way down there, 1,001. England still fourth favourites at 70-2. I'm going with a big win here for England. 3-1 in the end. Points in the bag, and of course into the knockout stages as group winners. That's it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. We go again, guys, all the way through to the final. I'll tell you then. Until then, bye.